That's the first time I've ever seen a lineup go outside from that place. The pandemic stuff is still going on here, of course. I guess it's kind of interesting reading how other people are dealing with it across the world, because one of the issues, I guess, is things like finance and all that. People losing jobs, people being depressed. It's kind of interesting reading this. I guess people are trying to make the best of it. This one says, violinists serenade shoppers in empty toilet paper aisle with Titanic hymn. So as you guys know, a lot of people are panic buying everything, like toilet paper is buying 6 months worth of supplies and stuff, whereas a lot of people are saying that's crazy, like you don't have to go that overboard. This one says, the two musicians hope their video will give people hope and a laugh in an uncertain and difficult time for many. It's an uncertain time for many across the globe who are dealing with the deep impact of coronavirus. Musicians are seeing concerts canceled and work disappear, and theaters and concert halls are feeling the financial blow of closing their doors at least for the next month. These two violinists are hoping to bring some light and relief in a tough period for many. Dressed in life jackets and tuxes, Bonnie Von Duke and Emmer Kinsella emulate the famous Titanic string quarter scene in the empty toilet paper aisle of their local supermarket. It is as it says, they went to like an empty toilet paper aisle and started playing the violin with the music and stuff. They said in an interview, it really felt like we're all in a sinking ship. Maybe we'll give other people hope and a laugh, where I feel at this point I'm about to cry. Although then they talk about the more serious side, they said many musicians and freelancers are losing work at this time. Concerts and events are being canceled right and left. Being a freelance artist myself, I'm not giving up, and I want viewers to be aware of my service during this social distancing time. It's a scary time, and we just wanted to bring comedic relief to that. And she also highlighted that we do need support for artists in the community. That's kind of the interesting thing I read as mentioned, where it seems like during this time there's a lot of people that actually come out, I guess, attacking or not caring about certain professions and all that. Like, who cares? Because I guess the argument is it's not, I guess, mandatory, so to speak, in a lot of cases, which I guess is true, but at the same time, everything kind of plays a role in terms of innovation and all that as well. At the same time, I think virtually almost everyone contributes in some way. Maybe you just can't see it in the big picture, but for the most part, a lot of things interconnect. Like you could say in this case, for example, oh, who cares about an artist or a musician or something like that? Yet this person could have been involved in creating, I don't know, some kind of piece or movie, etc., that inspired like some scientist or something to reach beyond his imagination and say, hey, I want to invent something like these drones or something like that. Hey, you never know. Basically, everything plays like a little role. It does make me think what Canada here is actually doing to help people when they lose things like jobs and stuff like that. So apparently there is this thing. It says the Canada's COVID-19 Economic Response Plan. The government of Canada is taking immediate, significant, and decisive action to help Canadians facing hardship as a result of the COVID-19 outbreak. On March 18, 2020, the Prime Minister announced a new set of economic measures to help stabilize the economy during this challenging period. These measures, delivered as part of the Government of Canada's COVID-19 Economic Response Plan, will provide up to $27 billion in direct support to Canadian workers and businesses. It makes me wonder if everyone would actually have access to this, or based on like things like that article, for example, it makes me wonder if someone who's more contract-based, gig-based, so to speak, would even qualify at all, because they don't actually get like things like what employment benefits or anything like that usually. It says here, temporary income support for workers and parents. For Canadians without paid sick leave or similar workplace accommodations who are sick, quarantined, or forced to stay at home to care for children, The government is waiving the 1-week waiting period for those individuals imposed in quarantine that claim employment insurance sickness benefits. This temporary measure will be in effect as of March 15, 2020. Introducing the emergency care benefit providing up to $900 bi-weekly for up to 15 weeks. This flat payment benefit would be administered through the Canada Revenue Agency and provide income support to, and they make the points here, workers, including the self-employed who are quarantined or sick with COVID-19 but do not qualify for EI sickness benefits. Workers, including the self-employed who are taking care of a family member who is sick with COVID-19, such as an elderly parent, but do not qualify for EI sickness benefits. So actually, I wasn't super clear about this. For example, it says who are sick, quarantined, or forced to stay at home to care for children. Is it basically all separate categories, or is it basically lumping everyone saying if you care for children and you're in those situations? I wasn't super clear about that. At least there's something. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about. I was reading some articles saying this thing could potentially last for a year or more. Can you imagine having to live with these circumstances like this for a year or more? With all this social distancing and they're calling it and all that? It's kind of crazy to think about. The weather's actually really fantastic today. Makes me wonder if people who do things outdoors like flying drones and stuff would actually go out, or would they actually stay in the house because of stuff like this. Although I did read this about the drones and stuff, where apparently people are still, I guess, worried about it, that they're spying on you, they're gonna hold weapons. This one says, new research improves drone detection for increased public safety. Unmanned aerial vehicles, commonly known as drones, are widely used in mapping, aerial photography, rescue operations, shipping, law enforcement, agriculture, among other things. Despite great potential for improving public safety, use of drones can lead to very undesirable situations, such as privacy and safety violations or property damage. There is also the highly concerning matter of the drones being harnessed to carry out terrorist attacks, which means a threat to public safety and national security. Radar technology is one of the solutions to monitor the presence of drones and prevent possible threats. Due to their various size and shapes and composite materials, drones can be challenging to detect. So because of that, people are inventing ways, I guess you could say, to detect them. It says researchers from Aalto University, UC Louvain, and New York University have gathered extensive radar measurement data, aiming to improve the detection and identification of drones. Researchers measured various commercially available custom-built drone models' radar cross-section, which indicates how the target reflects radio signals. The RCS signature can help to identify the size, shape, and material of the drone. It says here, quote, we measured the drone's RCS at multiple 2640 GHz millimeter wave frequencies to better understand how drones can be detected and to investigate the difference between drone models and materials in terms of scattering radio signals. We believe that our results will be a starting point for future uniform drone database. Therefore, all results are publicly available along with our research paper. That's kind of interesting to think about. Basically, first you're detecting things like the radio wave and how they're spreading, I guess, determines what type of drone and material it's actually built with. While for the most part, I think it's just major hysteria in terms of media and all that, saying, oh, these like consumer drones are spying on people and all that, when really people are just capturing scenery with wide angle lens and all that. It does make you wonder if they actually make something like this that's perfectly capable of detecting virtually, I guess, any drone, so to speak. Wouldn't this basically eliminate the need for things like those remote IDs and all that? I'm just trying to think, like, what's the point of having those remote IDs if you have something like this? Because then you can just say in general, yeah, just be safe, kind of like with the under 250, like here. And if they detect it, like in an airport with stuff like this, then that person will get in trouble. I think that's a lot better than over-the-top rules and hysteria. It's interesting to think still, because like I was saying, in terms of things like hysteria and with drones, with how everything is sensationalized, it's not really true when you think about it. It'll be interesting to see how they deal with this virus and the hysteria. And it seems like for the most part, even authority figures, they're saying, man, you guys are like completely overblowing this. This is not like how it works. It doesn't seem like, I guess, the message is getting across. I guess that kind of shows you it doesn't matter what industry or field you're in. And if there's something negative, it's going to be taken to the extreme where, like, at this point, people are going to act irrational. And how do you fix that? Who knows? But like I said, this will be an interesting case study because this is actually something that affects everyone versus things like the little drone, for example. Most people are like, I don't care. So it'll be interesting to see if they can actually contain the hysteria and get people to not panic and all that. To my understanding, when they have ripped fur like that, it's essentially there's a newborn or something like that, and so they're ripping off their own fur to, I guess, warm it and stuff. Alright, see you guys later.